Wait. Is it there? Oh, the current, which is, what do you mean not optimal? Okay, not helpful. Wait, can I? I can see why everyone who like does this has a million monitors and everything for it. Fire safe. Do do do. Oh, I see. Sun keyboard from my Mac. Let's see if I can remember my. See, why is it doing this? Erase? Erase. Okay. Well, whatever. We'll eject this disk and then deal with erasing it later. No, eject, please. Oh, of course no one can see the actual file sorting or the Mac because I've got the things up instead. I feel like this is the kind of thing I should be using my other computer for. Actually, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Ooh. It's so weird to me that I can just drive the Mac with one of my with the PC's mouse. That's actually not what I want to do. I want to do oh. Yes. Okay. What else? I feel oddly disconnected looking at it this way. Properties. Wait. What I feel like I should just do is get out my laptop. It says I have excellent connection. keys elsewhere. Put my everything elsewhere. Gosh. Come on. Okay. Does this... How about this? Wait, is like... Does this thing still think it's live? It does. Oh. Wait, okay. Yeah, go to the live dashboard, put on the laptop. Yay. Okay, now show me all of the chat. Okay. Actually, wait, let me... Okay. Okay. So, Mac Garden incoming. This is my Mac Pro's desktop. I'm actually not normally on chat with it, but it seemed reasonable to do it on there. These are its disks. I'm pretty sure the stuff we want is in 2000 Bay 3. Apps. Look at that, I've already done A, B, and C. Window. What's on there? Oh, it's other stuff I was looking at. Let's see. Gosh, this is incoming. New folder. Apps. C. Wait, everything from B is in there, right? Brace. Okay, good. Love, Finder, window management. So the worst part about the fact that, like, this is on YouTube is that if I wanted to, I couldn't stream, like, music. The best thing I could do is, like, Oh, damn it, this won't even be on the stream because of how my computers are wired together, which is to say they're really not. Anyway, I have some hilarious let's see. Anyway, pretty much the way to do this is just to grab a bunch of files, and I like how it's like C64 Classics. This is obviously someone's like self-assembled Commodore 64 compilation. Let's go ahead and put it on. Do 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 do. Actually, you know what I wonder is if I could stream with just this window and make the webcam bigger. I say like as if that would be good. I don't really think it would be. Will this? Oh, it will work with the scroll wheel. What's going on over there? Da, da, da. Yeah, pretty much. Pain and waiting. While we wait for that, come on. Oh, that's might help with the stream, but that's not what I wanted. Let's go check. Oh, why isn't it keeping me signed in? Is the real question. A real question. Like, I don't really want Edge to save this password, but I also want to stay signed in. Anyway, where was... oh. Do I follow that person? Um... Okay. Wow, that is a dirty, dirty, dirty power cord. Dirty power cord, boy. Let's type that in here. Oh, it's funny what a delay there is. Oh. New tab. vTools. This is the website for it. Woo! I need to probably get up on updating this again. It's connection instructions, which I should fill out. I need to get some stuff, and I need to get some alt text in there. About 5 seconds. Yeah. And then I hit green to say that it was copied. Let's see. Let's see if this works. Some of these things have names that are too long. We'll just hit stop and just start renaming them at random. See if that was good enough. You know what, this cam media thing? I'm gonna say that's probably out of scope. CAD. Oh. This is the disadvantage of like trying to do more than one thing at a time. Okay. CAD mover. See if I remember what that is. Yeah. And then all the rest of these are probably fine. I feel like this calculator construction kit is something Gravis was working on the other day. Da, da, da. Comp Geek Spreak doesn't work. Canon digital camera solution disk. Blah blah blah. You know what? We're just gonna out of scope this. Canoscan 8000F. Let's go Google that. This appears to still be on sale. Maybe not. It has USB 2 though. I vaguely doubt that like this is compatible with macOS 9. 2700. That's probably is. We'll go with it. This 500 meg ISO though, we'll see. And by we'll see, I mean no. Yeah, I definitely like absolutely wish I could have music on during this. We'll see if that's good enough. This last one. Oh. Okay. Pretty much I just do that carbon lib, cracho. I don't think any of that stuff works in macOS 10 or in macOS 9. Although it's like all so small that it doesn't really matter. Oh, gosh. Do, 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 do. It says people are connected. I a little bit wish it would tell me who. One of the things I thought about, and of course a thing that I'll have to be a little bit better with if I want to continue along this particular path in the future, is I kind of thought that I could use remote my this machine to view PDF files for like reviewing old magazines, and that's not strictly speaking impossible. It would just be annoying to do, especially since apparently that doesn't work. Oh, look, now it does. Okay. Okay. Whoops. Okay. Card shop got copied. Car paint isn't gonna get copied. Cracho isn't gonna be copied. CD, okay. See, a very large amount of this type of stuff is going to be like that's kind of neat. Bootable CD drive for the CD600E. A lot of this is going to be like making sure that this is real and then categorizing what it is once we finally get to that point. What's going on in window 2? I probably shouldn't do that. 5, okay. CD7. What is that CD7 of? CD-ROM toolkit.dmg. Okay. Personal sites. Mag PDFs. Let's see what's in here. Pentium PCs. Okay. Sure. Cheap and reliable data acquisition. Okay, oh, you party animal. Oh, that's a Gateway 2000 ad. Aw, don't walk away from interactive Unix. Oh, ha 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 ha. Look, this was an advertisement about like, come back to Unix. Unix loves you. Unix is a good idea. Oh, that's wild. And now it runs more SEO applications. Wow. Cluster PCs for power. Beowulf. Paper mess versus paperless. Ah. The paperless office for only $7,000. Wow. Oh, it's Pinnacle, so obviously, like, yep, there it is. A disk burner was part of this. Oh, my mouse isn't at all visible in the real multimedia. That's wild. Video conferencing is the goal. It even kills what? Bugs. Ah, get it? 'Cause OS2 has developer software? I'm not totally sure what that means. Email isn't enough anymore. Oh, okay. I was like DOS, Windows, OS2, OS2. Whoa, that's unrealistic. No, it was just one of each. Wake up and smell the future. Oh, dear Lord. $1,700 for an inkjet printer. Affordable networking plain paper 300 dpi black and color printer. Beep beep, your email is in. Ah. Bullets, tables. Wow. God, can you imagine? This is 1993, and they're like, hey, Word 6 for DOS. It is wild. RAID on the desktop. Ooh. Yeah. Won't mean lower prices for 486 chips. Of course it won't. Dell Dimension Notebook. Omnibook. Doo -doo -doo. Gosh, this is taking its time. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, is this the big boy? No, that was the T6600. LaserJet 4. The storage answer. Ooh. Big Blue's green PC. Oh, that's adorable. It's the PS2E. Oh, oh, thank you, Tyler. Excellent. Oh no, oh no. Wow, they're like, look at how crazy Windows looks in Arabic. Look, here's the Arabic countries. Wow. Intel Technology Briefing. Overdrive processor brightens your PC's future. Look at all that performance. Gosh, the other day I had to like tell someone about license, like physical license keys. They were like, "Do you mean CD-ROMs?" And I was like, "No. No, that's not what that means. Uh, this is like an act like a USB stick, it's, except its entire purpose is making a piece of software run. Except, of course, you know, it was serial or parallel." Oh, copy's done. Okay. Okay, good. These can get green. CD. See, I don't know what that is, so I'm just gonna copy it. Colure. Oh. Wow, that's a big boy. There's some RAM. It's a 386. It's a battery. Oh, that's neat. I'm also broken out of electrical tape, so I understand. Yeah, this would be better if I had planned a little bit more about talking about certain things. Oh well. One of these days I'm gonna get a new like graphics card for the Mac Pro and I'll be able to manage it a little better. Oh, manage isn't the right word. It'll be easier to do more than one thing on the system at a time. And really, the other thing I need to do really is like turn on um oh wait, no, there it was. Spaces. And then I can space around and have like a file copying space and everything. This all looks fine. Y2K patch. This DMG file makes me unhappy, but I'm sure that it's just someone was like, gotta provide different formats, and I'm like, okay, well, some of those are gonna get thrown away. Like, let's see. We'll just go to here. Doo -doo -doo. But yeah, like the graphics card in this machine is broken, and that's why really all I'm doing on it is sorting files. Because it's a nice enough machine and it's surprisingly fast with everything, but the graphics is a Radeon X1900 XT that's dying, and so if you see any artifacts, that's why. Photo sampler. Let me just get these two big files. Like, I wonder, like, what is this? Do I think this is important to have on vTools? Like, there's a good chance that it's not important. Let's go back to our magazine, where I'm a database service performance is roughly equivalent to hitting the afterburner. Ooh. Compact Perlinia. Woo! I had a Perlina. I do have a cat. It's not actually my cat. Um, Copy in. Perlina, portable disk drive you'll never outgrow. Oh, it's a 128 megabyte MO drive. New generation of monitors. Bigger, brighter, C640 by 480, better than ever before. Ooh, sorry. Someone joined the stream and then they went away because I'm a terrible person and everyone hates looking at me. Or perhaps because I told them Amanda's cat wouldn't be here. Software! Data from the depths. Is this about... Ding! What? It's supposed to. Yeah, I'm supposed to be hearable. Oh, guest stars. I am interested. Okay, these two files. Yeah, having someone on, like, the stream with me would be good. CH Flight Stick Pro. See, like, does ChemOffice Ultra 2002 install on classic macOS? Because that's kind of like the troublesome thing is this looks like it's probably someone's very carefully organized, like, full set of chemistry software, and I'm just like, nope, doesn't fit, gonna split it. Uh, oh, it does run in OS 9. Okay. Let's try it with a Telegram call. Yes. Yeah. You free now? I say, like, to someone who is clearly watching. Eject. This is going to require the participation of someone who's not Tyler or I to tell us if this is working. Hello?
Hi.
Hello? Someone who's not Tyler, can you hear this? God.
Yes, can you hear me? I feel like I'm having delusions of grandeur here, Corey, where it's like, oh my god, I'm calling into the screensavers.
I'm saving screens now.
Except you're not on G4 Tech TV with your show about to be ruined.
Telegram call is working, I'm hearing from someone. Who, in my
Sweet.
brain, that was coming across as Archer909, but that appears to be not how it's actually spelled.
So, I don't know. I'm Tyler slash ulterior slash WTHWW and or what the wah depending upon how long you've known me.
VTHVB.
There you go. Yet another synonym. So, I have some questions for you, Corey, that I think you'll have some answers to.
Okay, just a moment, cause someone else just joined, and I'm like, oh, gotta spam the link. Oh,
Woohoo!
you know what? I put this dock on the side because it was a 3:4 display. Actually, I normally put docks on the side on my Macs.
Ducks on the side. It's a way of life. I know that Sundoku would heartily agree with you, but I'm one of those turn the scale effect to max and then turn the dock size to minimum and fumble around for what I actually want in the dock kind of people.
You know, I'm sure, like, especially circa 10.6, where, like, oh gosh, I'm sitting here, like, on my machine doing things like, haha, everyone can see it. No, they can't. Um, where, like, Spotlight would give you what you needed instantly. Like, yeah, I love that. So I can sort of imagine
God,
just,
Spotlight.
yeah, it doesn't anymore.
That was surprising to me that I had to try it on my MacBook, and it made me so sad. Like, you really don't have any idea when I was like, the proof's in the pudding, I'm gonna try it myself. Oh, God.
Was that my computer
So,
doing that or yours?
that was mine.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I've got something that makes that noise as well.
It's
So I'm,
Discord.
ah, I mean, okay.
So,
Yes, I have Discord.
I,
Not on my
I
computer
have a
right now.
question for you.
Yes.
You know, we've been friends for a long time. We kind of grew up on the internet together, and probably some of this won't be a surprise to me, but what do you think was your most formative experience with Macs?
Gosh.
Like, what part of computing did Macs just go? Did you use a Mac and went, God, this, full stop?
um, you know, I keep in mind that our collective audience is four now, between not you, me, and not you. Um, I don't know. I feel like it was definitely on Macs that the internet sort of clicked for me, or certainly like, oh, Tyler, someone from IRC says they can hear me over your speakers. Didn't you know when you call in on the air, you're supposed to mute your radio?
I have been muting, actually.
Oh. um, still, still thinking
Yeah,
about this.
I'm muting Telegram when I'm not talking, so I feel like that might be feedback elsewhere.
Oh, okay. Stop. Can't copy. It's probably this first one. Checks quest screensaver. SV. That'll be good enough. Everyone knows what that means. Chromatica. Well, it's not a DMG, so it's going in. Um, I don't know. It's real tough to decide a single, um, a single thing, I guess.
I'm going to show how much a normie I am. I'll give you my response. It's two words, number munchers.
Okay, well, that's fair. I did number munchers on Apple IIs, actually.
Yeah.
In, in my suburban Washington. Actually, okay, so my first experience with a Mac ever was when I lived in California. Um, the first time I ever saw a Mac was probably in second or third grade. It would have been in first or second grade, actually. We went over to a different classroom, the one normally used by like the sixth graders, and we were supposed to like design a holiday card on the computer and print it. And these were like compact Macs. I'm pretty sure they were like pluses with Apple Image Writer or Image Writer 2s, because you know everyone's got at least 10 childhood memories of an Image Writer 2. Um,
Color ribbon, baby.
right.
Oh no, that was the color image writer, right?
No, it was for the Image Writer 2.
Okay. I get those mixed up. I'm a bad Mac website admin, everyone. Just FYI.
Um, anyway, I couldn't figure out what being literally anything at this point, and I ended up crying and going back to my own classroom, and I think I just made like traditional media gifts for my parents for that year, like, sorry, your kid failed at using Mac Paint to make a Christmas card. Here's the regular Christmas card he made you with construction paper. Um,
Oh,
yeah. So, not super great
so sad.
at the computers when I was a child. Um, yeah. Here, just a moment. I'm gonna take some pills real quick. Um, after that, when we moved to Washington, first I had much better experiences in the Mac lab, and my first school, um, where sorry everyone, we're gonna peek behind the curtain a little bit and look at my notes for when I took pills today. Um, and my big memory there was connecting to a file server on what I'm pretty sure was either a regular Mac Classic or a Color Classic, and opening up the second grade folder and playing games out of that, which was fun. There was a maze game, which was the one that I played most often. I'm pretty sure.
Number maze.
No, it was just regular mazes. I'm pretty sure the whole point was uh I'm actually going to copy this to the main server, the main machine first. Um, I'm pretty sure the point of that game was mouse dexterity, like learning how to do complicated things with mice on computers.
Uh, you know, maybe it's just a failing of my memory because it's such a banal thing, but I don't actually have a memory of like learning to use a mouse, if that makes sense.
Yeah, probably at that point, someone actually showed me down and said, like, you click and then you type this. Um, but I don't have a lot of memory of like how I learned to use computers. Probably the thing I have the most. 60K. Oh, that's what it is. 68K admin stream. So we're gonna go in the forum and just start doing things.
No, no. This is still the sorting stream. We're just talking. We're just talking like two totally functional adults.
Right. But let's be real. Today, I went out to go get something for lunch. Hours late. Ah, there was a DMG file. I'm gonna go delete this 70 meg chip DMG file.
You know, I really wanted to use that as an exclamation, but I just don't feel like I can yell "Dimage" and have it really. It doesn't. It's not forceful enough. There's not enough consonants there.
Start. CompGeek says start banning users as part of the 60K admin stream. Who will make the plus? The cut. Um. Yeah.
I think for me, the most formative, like, learn to use computers memory is like learning how to use an Apple II, putting the floppy in and like flipping it over to play another game, and freaking out the media specialist, as the librarians were then called,
Hmm.
because I had somehow figured out how to get it into the ROM monitor to type random gibberish in, and she didn't like that very much.
We're finding out
On the
what
subject,
What the
oh,
fuck
sorry.
is this? A collection? Oh god. Okay. This is random shit, is what this is. Sorry. Let me go back to this. So after Chronicle, which I'm gonna mark as copied. The next thing is the Cinema Paradiso, which I noticed was a pretty huge file. Two of them. Turns out this is some random user collection of QuickTime files, which is
I
just
mean, on one hand, I find that admirable because, come on, QuickTime 4, the video it came with, or
sure.
the Weezer music video on the Windows 95 CD.
Do you know what? That's a thing I did as a child. I had dial-up internet and an iMac from 1990, the original iMac, and it was probably, I don't know, 2000 or 2001, and I had dial-up and access to hotline servers, and one or two of them, because these were all Really, this was the easiest way to be steeped in Mac culture in that time, especially the culture of slightly older Macs, was to go on Hotline. There you could chat with other people who are connected to the server, and you could, one at a time, usually, download things, and you'd get games, and there would be movies, and sometimes it would be someone's music collection would be up there, and by movies I generally mean QuickTime files, not like, A Bug's Life wouldn't be up there, but like the Apple, commercial for like the original iMac or whatever would be up there. So, yes, I'm annoyed, but also yes. I might or might not split this collection and make a media folder on vTools and put the things I think are reasonable to keep there, but we'll see.
Yeah. So, on the subject of MLA administration, I love the MLA, but God, y'all are some crazy people. In a good way, but the trials and tribulations of, like, we have a crazy person. What do we do with them? At least one or two of my gray hairs have come from that.
Yeah, there's it's always interesting to see what to do. I received a PM from someone, and it was basically the short version was like, "Oh my gosh, how?" And I said, "I know, right? But yeah, I'll share that with you privately later, Tyler."
Um, just like full disclosure here, I went a long time without actually having access to any of my 68K gear just due to situations. Moving across the country tends to do that. It separates you from your worldly possessions. So, is what it is. But when we were with Tron in Seattle on that crazy trip, getting that Quadra 650 again, or getting a Quadra 650 again from RePC, like, really, I have this very strong love for System 7.5 that was reignited by that machine. And I know that this is like anathema to you, but just
I just personally like 7.1 and 7.6 better.
I think it's because during the time when I really got into 68K Max, I wasn't the best at pirating software for 68K Max. And so the way that I got started was I bought a used Mac at a surplus auction that still had an OS on it, figured out how to get it on the internet, and then got another Mac that did not have an OS or a hard drive, and that forced me to go, gosh, how do I get a copy of Mac OS without paying for it?
I suspect
Right?
that specific situation is behind a fair number of people's preference for 7.5.
And that's exactly where I'm going with it, because getting 753 and then the 755 update from Apple's website, if you had at least one functioning Mac, made it really easy to get your other Macs going.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in retrospect, it wasn't always that easy because, let me tell you, the hunt for system enablers haunts my dreams. But,
Yeah.
and read the MLA, I think it'd be kind of fun to I wonder about making ready to roll like emulator packs and how successful or unsuccessful that might be, because my recent experience with this, if it's possible, emulating classic Mac OS has gotten worse than it used to be. And and in the way that, like, back in the day, all you had to do was copy some system files and you magically had network access and could use the CD-ROM in your computer.
Yeah. See, the thing I did, and I agree with this idea, and the thing that I did at some point, what's this machine's name? Stuff from Narvik. I actually built out a Basilisk 2 setup. Let me see where open with. Corey. Okay, gotta go to the desktop. I actually built out uh, something, and a version of this I distributed had some better preferences set up. But I set up a Basilisk 2 installation for someone, and I put it on a part of my website that I share sparingly. I'm pretty sure it was Evie that I gave this to, but I probably shared it around to some other people, and it was what I streamed with before. So I like that idea, and I was getting ready to set up a QEMU macOS 9 setup using the information from KTEX, um, and I just never did. Because really what I kind of wanted to do was get the Emac 922 installation on there.
Hmm.
For no good
Which, by the way,
reason.
shout out to KTEX. You go, girl.
Yes, I don't think she's here right now.
The universe will get it to her.
Okay, that's fine. Look at it. Oh gosh, that's right. I had like. Oh yeah, I was testing this thing. Uh, not this thing, but the yeah, I get it. Um, Internet Explorer 4 personal web server
Oh, wow.
on here, and that's actually this is playing with this on my one of my earlier streams is actually what got me to set up the 840 with the original. I think I called it v.stenaweb.net, and it was on the same IP address that vtools.68kmla.org is using right now. Um, and it was just IE4 on my 840AV, and there was a guest book and everything. Anyway,
Yes.
this is all my Claris shenanigans.
Ooh. So, like, the only reason I bring up the emulation thing is, so I'm going to refer to him as his nickname because I'm not sure how comfortable he is otherwise, but Tech Fury 90 was talking about some stuff he was working on, and it really, I have these weird skills where it's like I know how to code in Perl, but I need to use that on a 68K Mac like a dingus. So you'd think I would use that on a Sun 3 or 4 machine, but that's here nor there. So I really want to try coding something, and I don't know if it's possible. I need to do some research and testing. I want to try coding something in Perl that uses the UI toolkit in classic Mac OS. And I think it's possible with Mac Perl. I just need to try it and figure that out. And that was like the entire purpose of my wanting to set up a VM today. Um, as I found out, at least in my current setup, and it might be the build of Basilisk or whatever, but I feel like Basilisk has gotten worse over time. The copy that or the version that I'm using just crashes all the damn time.
So for me it depends on what you're doing. Of course I'm gonna say this, and I know that I said this to you earlier, and you know that I said this to you earlier, but uh, clearly the first step here is that you need to install 761 on that shenanigans. And the second
I mean, I
thing,
thought the first step was admitting I had a problem, but
well, no, it's not a problem. It's the only problem is that you're running the wrong OS. Anyway,
right. So I do have a problem.
no, but you're not wrong about Basilisk 2 getting. It has aged poorly.
Tyler, put down your 755 crack pipe, okay?
Vintage Mac files. Stream. Sorry, I might or might not be shilling the stream again on my tweets.
Shill away, BB.
I feel like I should just post this to the 68 KMLA Twitter, but I also feel like
You should.
you know what? Okay.
I mean, the worst that's going to happen is someone is going to ask us a question like, whatever happened to Uniserver? Cue 10 people in IRC asking us.
Right. Oh, whoops. No, they appear to be. Oh, is it really? What?
What?
Oh, that's bad. Resetting my
What?
Twitter password soon.
Corey, I feel like I need to play my part in this long partnership. You're showing people how many characters your password is on the stream. You need to change that shit.
Well, in addition to that, it's a password I can remember, which almost certainly means it's a password I shouldn't be using anymore.
Isn't that the truth? No, it's just since I'm the SSL Nazi and, I figured I should.
SSL for what? Okay. Oh, someone in the IRC mentioned Uniserver.
Aww.
Okay. These things just finished.
In my head, when I read that, the AOL "Your buddy has gone offline" sound played. The door shutting.
Let's see. I think these are all OS 10 things. So excited to save. That was not what I was hoping would happen. Look at how fast that happened, though.
Ooh.
Anyway.
So, I'm just going to call out to the IRC for a second. So, Evie, the first time I tried soldering something, I remember letting the iron heat up and then going to grab it to tin my iron, and it was a 40-watt fire starter. And I, of course, grabbed the iron instead of the handle on the iron, and just like a slight sizzle sound before I realized what I'd done. Oh my gosh, so stupid. However, I have yet to make that mistake again.
Oh, gosh darn it, that's so wrong. Okay, there we go. Now I'm on the right mouse. Claris CAD EPS7. Really? I mean, on one hand, look, we're at my favorite part, all the Claris stuff.
Dog cow sounds.
Yes, but look at that 370 Claris homepage 2 CD image of the German version of the program.
Corey, come on. Don't lie to me. You are so aroused right now by that.
Too many things. Okay. Claris works for kids was probably the limit there. Yes, it was. I really like the Claris software. I feel like it's very. I feel so. Firstly, I feel like I've come to understand it a little differently in modern times. I feel like it was part a tech demo, like Apple going, "Hey, here's how you write Mac software." And it
For
ended up.
everyone that doesn't have Corey context, this is Corey saying, okay, I'm backing down. I'm putting down my office pipe for a second.
Oh, well, uh, if I were to have a System 7 Mac, at any given moment, I would rather have Claris stuff on it than Office 4. However, on PowerPC, Office 98 runs on System 7, 0.5.5 or better. So that's where I am on that. Which is to say, my personal PowerPC based document production has absolutely moved to Word 98.
I rest my case.
However, again, in the era of the previous version of Office, Claris stuff definitely works better and is just as incompatible with modern document formats as Office 4. So, I personally would rather use the nicer software. Thanks, Thurrit.
Yeah.
You can visit my SharePoint-based blog about SharePoint at fd.stenoweb.net. My upcoming URL is new.stenoweb.net. I think I literally wrote about upgrading my SharePoint server on that server. Claris works for kids.
I have a question for you. Internally,
Huh?
do you have your SharePoint server set up to be SSL internally?
No. FD is not SSL at all. Marin and New, which is hosted on Marin, are SSL.
Wouldn't it be fun, and I might pull some shenanigans to try and make that possible, to I think it'd be a lot of fun to, although it'd be awful because of the modules that are included, to make a SharePoint post, something that will post to SharePoint from a 68K Mac and Mac Pearl.
Actually, it occurs to me, I could have gone to FD. The fact that this works in like Safari 5. Well, firstly, this was all from 2010, so yes. Wait, what version of Safari is this? It is Safari 5. Oh, look, this works too. Yeah! And it's my blog. Anyway.
Life strapped to a desk.
God. Where did you see that? Is that still online?
No, Corey, I've just known you for too damn long.
My very first my very first blog was called Strapped to a Desk. I'd never worked at this point. Uh I wasn't even very strapped. By the time by the end of this blog, I like had a laptop. I didn't like laptops yet, but I did have one. Oh gosh, Uberlanda wiki. Still have all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Claris Works Internet. Gosh, that's a 300 megabyte file. I wonder what's on it.
You know, I think it would be fun if you had a co-host for every one of these, but I think it'd be interesting to do like D4, his experience with growing up with the Mac and seeing it change would be super cool, especially since he used it professionally and in his college years, classic Mac OS, the rise of Hotline and such.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Dan was the kind of person running the hotline servers I was connecting to when I was a child. And I feel
Totally
like that
did.
was either late in his college days or early in his professional life. God, calm down there, TWF. Yeah, it would be interesting. See, like, I feel like I would do better at streams with another person because I like having people to interact with, and because I can't play music on YouTube, just like, haha, it's Corey and he's bopping around isn't like a thing that you can do.
Let's be real here, Corey. I'm sure the YouTube music library has some sweet jazz in it.
uh, oh, look at this. The Dutch Netherlands versions of ClarisWorks 5 Office. .toast.sidx. Why?
I mean, Corey, come on. In fact, I think it would be fun to see you do like an entirely German install of classic Mac OS.
I did that once as a kid. 701 was available on. Oh, that would be interesting. Um, German 701. Yeah, I had that on the LC that I actually got from my German teacher for a little while. It came with English 701 or 70. I forget what was actually on it when I got it. And I was kind of like, haha, look, I did a presentation on it actually in that class. I brought it back and I used a projector that I had, an NView Insight. Um, and it was basically like, haha, Germans have computers too. Here's what an early Mac looked like in German. It was silly because I didn't have any software for it. But look, here's
And
ClarisWorks 3 German Windows.
like every single one of your classmates were like, what the fuck?
Maybe. I don't know.
That's how mine would have reacted.
If they were
I
like
thought
that,
I
they
was.
didn't say it.
I think your classmates might have been nicer than mine.
Maybe.
Although we went to school in very different areas, my classmates were more concerned with how the crop was doing. So,
Fair enough. I feel like I was relatively well liked in my German class, but most of the other people in my German class were also weird. Um, so I don't know.
so I think to me, one of the things that's interesting is this weird dichotomy, and this is in relation to like Macs in schools, where like my school system had a shit ton of Macs, but they didn't ever get into networking them very much, like until the very end where they were putting in PCs, and they only networked the Macs for the sake of like transitioning the teachers off of them and getting them used to the idea of having network logons.
Hmm.
And maybe it's just due to the size and area, but I wonder how that played out elsewhere because to be honest, Macs were perfectly happy being in their own little worlds for pretty much the entire run of classic Mac OS.
They were. There are like there's technologies and options, but none of them are really very good. And really, classic Mac OS is truly a personal computer operating system in the sense that it definitely works best if you just give a person their own boot disk.
Well,
Um,
and to be real with you, the stuff that Fink was working on with Power Talk was really interesting too.
yes, that's exactly the other kind of thing that goes into it is early Mac networking technologies are very focused on this is Corey's computer, this is Jane's computer, this is Alex's computer, this one is Tyler's computer, that kind of thing, as opposed to Corey's logged into accounting machine 3 right now, which is a little bit closer to the way that NT was, like right off the bat, if that makes sense.
It does. And things like that totally come through to today, right? I mean, I work for a mid-sized municipality, and I would be lying to you if I said we had anything other than this is Public Works Computer 9048, and its host name is PW09408.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the way my work is. My machine is called. I happened to name my machine after my team name, and I got to pick the number, so my main machine is Solson 70. But really, that should be like UCC and then whatever. Uh, let's see if that name is short enough. It is. Um, and really, like my machine at work is truly mine in the sense that if I go work somewhere else in the department, it's old enough my supervisor might just say, take it. Um, if someone else comes into my spot, someone else on my team's gonna reimage my machine after I leave, and that person is gonna come to a machine that's essentially fresh. And that's not, strictly speaking, something that wouldn't have happened before, just that it's a little different from an environment where you sit down at a computer for a couple minutes and then you go. Um, Classic Mac in computer lab environments tended to be interesting because you'd get a lab and all the machines would be set up more or less the same. Um, and you'd either put your diskette with your data in it or you'd connect to the file server. And really, that happened when I was in fourth or fifth grade, I think. About halfway through the school year, they were like, "Hey, you have a space on the file server now." That's actually where the number 5412 comes from. So it was my ID number at that school, and so they just made my account. It was STU 5412.
That's hilarious. The only thing like that we had were lunch numbers, and I thought it was great because when middle school rolled around, they couldn't come up with anything better to make the AD accounts for students. So everyone's AD account became their lunch number.
Wow. Uh, Oh gosh, I don't know what versions of Warrior are for old and which ones are for new Macs. We'll just copy them all and then take away whatever's not for it. Cocoa Mod X, I know that that's not for classic Mac OS 10. I'm gonna save myself 3 whole megs on vTools.
Woo! Oh my. You know, I'm really excited to get the Quadras from you, honestly.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's a
So,
2FX
Corey,
case and a board, a 950, a 9150, and a second 650.
yes.
Although, the 650, as far as I know, you didn't pay Ian for it, so whoever's the first to get to my house can have that.
Oh, shit. I need to arrange that.
Uh, it was just sitting around and he was like, I don't know, do you want this? And I was like, sure. I'll
Okay.
take that and give it to Tyler. I don't know if there was any
So,
expectations connected to it.
honestly, I'm excited for the 950. Like, by virtue of. I really wanted. Like, I've kind of got down to the wire on what I know I like. And I'm one of those where I've got weird preferences for old Macs, and I'm not gonna lie, my favorite PowerPC Mac there ever was ever is the Molar Mac, the G3 All-in-One. It's so fugly, it's beautiful. As I like to say, a Mac only Ulterior could love. Um,
And only Ulterior does love it, in fact.
so, my goal would be I want to get one of those that still looks nice, even though, they kind of have the same issues the iMacs and the older compact Macs have, where power supplies start going and the boards to drive the CRTs start going, but oh well. But as far as 68K Max for me, I pretty much got it down to the 650 being my favorite, and the 950 being what I'll dump some resources into. So, I want to have as many body doubles as I can of the 650s. So,
Fair. Hey, random question. For you specifically, do you happen to have any LCPDS network cards laying around?
I do. I actually do, but they're 2,000 miles away.
Okay. I definitely meant
So
where you
no,
are, where you live
functionally.
now.
Yeah, functionally no. Sorry.
I actually probably do have a couple in my storage locker. The 6200 has one in it, but it doesn't work. For whatever reason. It doesn't even have the
Which,
Wings card.
at some point, I need to arrange a trip back home and just be like, anyone that wants to come pick up and have any of this stuff, meet me at this address. You can drive away with it.
Yeah, it looks like if you can get to Pennsylvania to where Evie lives, someone's selling a molar for 250 bucks. So, you know,
Yeah, I've tried shipping them before, and the old plastic curse has hit the Molar Max pretty hard. So
yeah.
it's kind of like my story with trying to get a 575 shipped to me, where I've bought 4 of them in the last 5 or 6 years, and all of them have shown up at my door in splinters.
Yeah.
Like, totally not even related to how good the packing job was.
This is why if I want something and like someone is willing to sell it to me and they're also willing to hold on to it for a little bit, I'm just gonna turbo it over there with my minivan and like, hello.
You and Sark in your minivans, man.
Yeah, they're very good for getting old computers and driving across the country.
Corey is like, it's a utility vehicle, Tyler.
Mini utility van. The van that I own is literally called multi-purpose vehicle, Mazda MPV. So, yeah.
Suck my MPV, bitches.
Yep. Okay, wait. That was faster than I thought it would be. Okay. Yeah, purpled. Gosh. Uh,
So I'm interested to, just to call back to the Mac Pearl thing. I was playing around with doing some CGI stuff on Mac Pearl in the past, and I think it would be fun to do some old school CGI stuff now, especially that I'm no longer a terrible tween. Um, I don't know. It might be fun to do the whole here's my blog host that I wrote myself, hosted on an old Mac. I don't know. I kind of have a fetish for recreating some things like that.
fair enough. Uh,
Corey, will you host CGI for me on VTools?
you know what? I feel like I actually would. Uh, 6.
Wherein we have like, wherein I write like an old style BBS where it's a single page that you just keep adding shit to.
You know, I wish I had some screenshots of it or that they were easier to find because that's absolutely like the guest book on the Quadra 840 was 100% that. Um, and it
Huh?
was this like totally primordial like Mac compatible ASPX stuff.
Well, yeah. I need to see if MacPearl had SQLite, although I think SQLite is a pretty new invention, so probably not.
Yeah, probably not. You know, clearly what you need to do, Tyler, is get your hands on Claris Homepage 3 and FileMaker Pro 4 and
Right.
right? Yeah.
And just abuse the hell out of tables like everyone else back then.
Yep.
If you talk to DeFore, he'll tell you the only true web alignment tool is a table.
You know, okay, so this is actually something I've been writing about and something I need to finish up my post on because I plan on posting it tomorrow. Um, I really feel like uh that the prime days of the web were when it was a semi-interactive multimedia document format. Um, and not like this whole like the web is an application format. And this whole like so part of the whole like macOS 10.6 and 2009 and stuff like that that I'm playing with on this Mac Pro that I've got is very much this like very tail end of that web isn't really quite um, isn't quite yet a fully fledged application platform yet. And like really, 2009, 2010 was kind of when it was turning that way. You could argue it definitely started earlier. Like, rightly, the thing that became Google Docs started in 2007 or 2008. Anyway, bring me back my old web is where that was going. Ted was like,
Well,
hi.
and honestly, I had to mute. So I would agree with you in some ways because I too am enamored with the idea of buy your home computer and hook it up to the internet and host your family website on it and oh, here's the photo gallery of little Timmy's first birthday
Hmm.
and Great Aunt Tilly's cross stitch maker 97 site.
Yeah. Just want to mention, just by way of like, haha, like, and I realize this is still in macOS 10, but like, there's definitely like website sharing in macOS 10.6, and iWeb is still in this thing. Like, oh wait, Spotlight still works in this version of macOS 10. Yeah, like oh, yeah, okay, close that actually. Option 4.
What just happened?
What?
What just happened?
I can like sort of hear you.
What just happened? What are we closing?
What?
What just happened? What are we closing?
What do you mean, what are we closing?
You said close that.
Oh, uh, I clicked on the hard disk icon for the machine to go open the applications folder, and then I was like, wait, I can command spacebar and use Spotlight to search for iWeb because iWeb works on this machine.
Holy Jesus.
And really, that's the thing, like, that's the thing, like, firstly, I'm angry at myself for indulging in this, like, haha, nostalgia for 2009. Like, I feel like an idiot, to be honest. But even worse than that is the fact that this machine, so I'm, on a 2006 Mac Pro, um, it's basically mid-range. It's a quad 2.6, 8 gigs of RAM, good video card, but going bad. Um, and it runs like 2009 to 2011's finest software-wise, perfectly good on its stock, 15-year-old like spinning hard disk, and everything happens quickly.
I just want to know, like, when they decided to release.
Something happened to your audio, and I really can't hear what's going on, like what you're saying.
I have the feeling it's because I'm on cellular still. I just switched to Wi-Fi, if that made it any better.
Ah, maybe. So what were you saying?
Oh, I was saying essentially, like, which version of OS 10 did they ruin it? I feel like it was a gradual thing.
Yeah, I don't think there's like a single turning point, like, oh, 10.7 is where it's ruined.
I mean,
Um,
obviously, Corey, anything after 10.4 is garbage.
Whoa. I actually personally hate 10.4.
Oh, I know. on this we disagree.
Um, yeah, we do.
God damn it, Tyler! Why did I let you on my show?
No, not quite. I mean, yes, but no.
Yes.
Oh, look at all these combo macOS 10 updaters I get to exclude.
What I was going to say is that I'm almost done making dinner for the boyfriend and I, so I'm going to have to hop off. But it'd be fun to make this a regular thing and maybe line up some guests and announce it on the forums.
Yeah, it would be neat. Um, have kind of I tossed around the idea of doing this. I would need to come up with a time to do it. Um, because I don't know that I really think that Sundays mid-afternoon is necessarily the best time. It's an okay time for me, but I just want to make sure that it's as good as possible. This has been running for, well, gosh, I don't remember when I sat down to actually try to do it. We've been streaming
So
for an hour and 45 minutes. Oops.
I've been with you for an hour or so. So all I'm saying is that you should probably do it on the day that works for you because that'll help make it regular. And it would be fun to do it as like a regular thing because I think there's a lot of interesting people in the old Mac community. A good example would be it'd be fun to try and coerce like Big Mess of Liars into spending some time and talking about what drives them to do the crazy shit they do. Or Dan, or there's lots of others, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be interesting to see. Um, to a certain extent, I don't know how much I want to formally make it like it's Corey's show. Go on Corey's show. This is just because I find it terminally boring to work on these files on my own. Um, and I need to either have a video that I'm watching or be on chat with someone. Um, and I kind of figured, like, it seems like there's interest around this particular process, might be a good way to put it. So I thought, like, getting this kind of thing going and, do you think, like, stuff it for macOS 10 is in here?
It might be fun because I think you have interesting things to add to conversations, and I think you're good at moderating them. And if you think you can deal with moderating a conversation and doing the file copies, it might make sense.
Yeah, that's going to be the biggest. Wait, is that an installer? Okay, it is. That would be the biggest thing is like, um, I'm confident that I can run okay, yes, move to the applications folder. God damn, stuff it. Really? What the hell? Okay, whatever. This is what Stuff It Expander looked like in 2011. Thanks, I hate it.
Gosh, Corey, who wasn't using the unarchiver by then?
It was what?
Who wasn't using the unarchiver by then?
I really can't hear you. Do you want to disconnect and reconnect?
I think it might be better for me to just call it. But
Okay.
if you can hear me now, I was saying, who wasn't using the unarchiver by
Oh. Well, to be perfectly honest, I never touched zip files at that point.
then, right?
In 2011, hell, by 2007, nothing for Mac was distributed as zip. So anything on Mac Garden that's a zip that's actually for OS 10 is definitely like wrongly recompressed as zip. People might have been using it personally, but like no actual software was expanded this way or or done this way. My question here is this comic book confidential? Like, is that a multimedia CD-ROM or is that something newer or what? So I wanted to go look at it without looking it up. Um, fuck, this ruined all the icons. Uh, Only on here, so I'm not too worried, but I'm annoyed because I hate that icon. Not that the way that it was showing before was any better, I guess.
Well, in that case, I will bid you adieu for my dinner. Thank you for letting me crash your stream.
Yeah, definitely. Feel free to crash it again at some point. I'll see if I can. I'll make a forum thread about this and maybe I'll workshop it on my Twitter and see like uh if um if I can come up with like a better time or anything like that to see like if there is a time when people want to do it or whatever. So we'll see.
The Malacast.
Yeah. The other thing I definitely thought about was just screen capturing 10.6 and then editing some other stuff in and posting it as videos, but I feel like Asthma or 10 hours of Corey sorting files is a little undesirable.
You know, man, you never know what people are
I really can't hear what you're saying, I'm sorry.
into. All right, I'm gonna pop off. Have a good one, man.
Bye! With that in mind, I think I'm gonna log off too from streaming because um, I'm still waiting for stuff it, and that makes me unhappy. And also, it is just time for me to do some other stuff today. So that I think ends it for me too. Bye.